Hey, what is going on, guys? DK. Back at you with another video here to bring the 4-game Olympic basketball slate that starts Tuesday night. If you guys are new to the channel, welcome. My name is DK. I make daily videos and live stream for NBA and NFL slates on Draftkings. Also making videos for PGA Daily Fantasy Sports and NBA Top Shot. And if you're curious if I'm going to have a video up for the Olympic golf slate, I am. It's going to be up right after this, so be on the lookout for that. Also, FYI, that slate starts a little early. It starts on Wednesday instead of the normal Thursday, golf slate. If you are unable to watch these YouTube videos, they're also up on Apple Podcasts. I'll have a link down below. It's called the DKDFS Show. If you are interested in signing up for premium content, I offer that on Patreon.com. 3 different packages with the NFL season right around the corner. An NBA package, which includes Olympic basketball and Summer League. NFL package, and then an esports package that includes Call of Duty and CSGO. And I do want to thank Prize Picks for sponsoring this episode. So, if this is your first time watching my videos or you're not familiar with Prize Picks, there's a few different ways you can play. Right now, we don't have anything posted for men's Olympic basketball, but I'm expecting that to be posted later on. Probably the next few hours. But I have women's basketball up. So again, the first way is you just take over, under, and straight up fantasy points. So Prize Picks will post players and the projected fantasy scores. And again, you either take the over or the under, or you can play a single stat DFS. Right now, they only have points posted, but sometimes they'll have assists, rebounds, where you can just take straight up like over under on rebounds. So I like it. It's a nice change of pace because you're not playing against anyone. You're just playing against a house. If you guys want to try it out, you can sign up, use the code DKDFS. DKDFS, all one word, link down below. You'll get a 100% match up to $100. So basically, if you put in $100 using my code, you will get a free $100 or $200 to play with in total. And finally, I want to thank you guys again for your continued support in all the videos. The NBA, the Olympic videos, the Top Shot videos, the PGA videos. Really, really do appreciate it, guys. If you could, leave a like button on the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't upload videos and you know when I go live. I will be doing a YouTube live stream tomorrow, so make sure to check it out, guys. Go over everything and answer any questions you guys have. Let's try to aim for 150 likes on this video. Every single like helps. And also, if you are not subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button. About 50% of people watching these videos are not subscribed, so hitting that subscribe button really helps me out, trying to reach 10K, or on my way to 10,000 subs. All right, guys, so before we talk about players and the prices for this 4-game slate, we can look back mine up here from Sunday's 2-game slate. So, Sunday's slate for me here, let's go to my lineup, was just kind of average, forgettable. Let's go over my lineup. It was Luka Doncic, Hajima, Muric, Scola, D'Elia, Sergio Rodriguez, Rui Hachimura, and Pau Gasol. So got hit with a little bit of bad variance. A little bit tilted about it, not gonna lie, but it happened. So Hajima was a guy that I liked, those Japan guards. Looking at the exhibition games, both those guys were averaging about 25 minutes. He was close to min price, so I'm like, hey, I'm expecting him to play similar minutes. He did not. He only played like 9-10 minutes. So a little bit annoyed by that, but again, stuff like that can happen. Muric was another thing that was a little bit tilting. He was a small forward value I liked. He picked up 3 fouls in 5 minutes, also fouled out. So lost a good amount of time there with foul trouble. So a little bit of bad variance here, some of the value plays. Again, the rest of my lineup, Scola was solid. I was a little bit surprised that Argentina kept their starters in for, Composo closed out the game. Scola was in there, deep into the fourth quarter. That game was out of hand basically the entire second half. So I was surprised that Argentina stuck with their starters for a little bit. Again, I liked punting at the center position, guys like D'Elia, Pau Gasol I mentioned, both were solid for value. Sergio Rodriguez, one of those value guards I talked about, did go for 18.25 fantasy points. Rui Hachimura, a little bit disappointing, did have 20 real life points, but that was about it. Only 2 boards, 1 assist. Yuta, the GOAT, was the one you actually wanted. I think he went for 40-plus fantasy points. He also had 5 steals. So, that is it for the look back, guys. Hope you had a good night. We can quickly go over the winning lineup here. This is in the Slam. So, the winning lineup was obviously Luka, who just, again, that game was, I watched that game, absolutely insane. And he got subbed out, too, in the fourth quarter. He could have won for 90 fantasy points if he played the whole game. Brasino, the other Watanabe, who did not play. Literally, this guy won a tournament with Watanabe not playing. The other Watanabe. Scola, Hernan Gomez, Campozo, Garubo, and Valdoza. But yeah, looking over like some other ownership here, again, if we go look at Hiyajima was super popular in the higher stakes stuff, 60+% owned. Again, everyone, including myself, was expecting more minutes. Didn't happen, so yeah, that one hurt a little bit, but nothing we can really do about it. All right, so let's move on to this 4-gamer. Again, we have Germany and Nigeria. It's a 165.5 over under. Nigeria are 4.5-point favorites. Iran versus USA. It's a 166.5 over under. United States are 41.5-point favorites here. Australia versus Italy. It's a 172.5 over under. Australia are 7.5-point favorites, and France versus Czech Republic, a 164.5 over under. France, I should say, are 9.5-point favorites. All right, guys. So we'll start off with Germany, and let's take a look at some of these minutes here. So, for the Germans, again, Emlo came out the bench, still played 20 minutes, was their go-to guy, finished with 24 points, 4 boards, 4 assists. I played him last slate. I still think he's a little bit underpriced. Again, don't expect him to start again, but he should play big minutes. A guy that can kind of do it all, can score the ball, plus, stuff the stat sheet. So, Emlo, once again, one of my favorite options on this slate. I think he is still underpriced. Now, Wagner up top at 8.6K and came off the bench, played 21 minutes, was pretty solid. But I don't know if I want to use one of my spend-ups in Wagner because of the minutes, right? There's other guys I can project for a lot more minutes as far as my stars. So Wagner, more of a contrarian option. Going over the rest of Germany, there are a couple of the guys I want to mention. Isaac Bonga, they have him listed as a center, even though he was at times running the point guard for them. So let's take a look at Bonga. He played some solid minutes. Went for 27 minutes, 13 points, 3 boards, 4 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. He's a good defender. And if he's going to play similar minutes, I think he is a really good value play at this price. So Bonga, kind of a do-it-all guy, I like as well. Andreas Obst is more of their sharpshooter. He also played big minutes. He played 29 minutes for 12-1. Again, not going to do much of the per fill stats. More of a outside shooter, but I think he's viable because of the minutes alone. That's probably it. Let's see. Was there anything else I wanted to mention here? Voutman at 6'3", and he is their starting center. He played 22 minutes, went for 3, 6, and 4. Fine play in the mid-range, but I would rather use Bonga for a couple $1,000s less. So that is it for Germany. Let's move on to Nigeria. So Nigeria did kind of spread out the minutes as we expected, but there are some guys that go a little bit underpriced. So Okoji played over 20 minutes. He played 23. Precious Achua played 22. Jordan Nwora of the Milwaukee Bucks played 24, and Gabe Vincent of the Miami Heat played 25. So those guys played a decent amount of minutes. Also, Oni on the Utah Jazz played 23 minutes, but not a good point per minute guy. Probably not going to go there. So let's talk about, again, Achua versus Okafor. If you look at Okafor's minutes, even though he's a good point per guy, only played 11 minutes. That's a little bit worrisome. I don't know if I want to use Okafor. He's only going to play 11 minutes again. So if I'm going to use one of these bigs, I would rather go to Achua, who, again, did play over 20 minutes and was good. Went for 10, 6, 2, and 3. So I think Achua is a solid player there in the mid-range. Also, he's power forward eligible, which is kind of nice. Power forward usually the fourth spot usually a weaker position on these slates. So I do have some interest there in Achua. Also, Gabe Vincent at 5'4". He played 25 minutes with solid 7-5, 1-1. I think he looks a little bit underpriced if he's going to continue to play 25-ish minutes. Caleb Agada was a sneaky play I mentioned. However, the minutes weren't really there for him. Only played 14 minutes, but was very productive in that time. 2 points, 3 boards, 3 assists, 1 steal, and 3 blocks. Again, though, the minutes were a little bit disappointing there. And then Okoji, 4.4K. He played 23 minutes, went for 11, 2, and 3. Again, another good defender who, if he's going to play some minutes again, I think looks like a solid value. So there are some guys, and Nwora too at 4K. So even though Nigeria spread out the minutes, there's still some guys that are a little bit underpriced. Nwora, Okoji, Gabe Vincent, even Precious Achua are probably the main guys I'm looking to for Nigeria. I'm moving on to Iran versus USA. This one's a little bit tricky because obviously there's the massive blowout risk, and there's a chance that some of these Iran guys and obviously the USA guys don't see their full complement of minutes. But we'll start with B-Yak and MJams. 2 value plays I liked in the first slate and were very under-owned. B-Yak went for 23 points, 3 boards, 4 assists, also 36 minutes. And MJM, 16 points, 7 assists, 1 rebounds. So once again, I think these guys are both good values. We have B-Yak at 4K, MJM's at 3.6K. I think they are too cheap. Even if this game blows out, I think they could pay off their salary. So those 2 Iran guys, once again, I like for value. Going over the rest of some of these Iran players, Hamid Haddadi actually had a pretty good game in 29 minutes for 15, 10, 4, 2, and 1. Again, a good point per guy. He is priced over 9K, though. He's a guy that is a little bit riskier because if the game blows out, that's going to hurt him more at that price at 9.3, where B-Yak and MJams are so cheap that if the game blows out, they could still pay off the salary. So I'm probably not going to go to Haddadi. I'm not going to go to Kazemi, who didn't play a ton. There is one other guy I want to mention. Now, this is a little bit confusing if you look here. His name is different on Pro Ballers than it is on Draftkings. Samid Nika Barimi played 32 minutes, went for 8-6, 2-3. But this is Nick Kaberhimi. This is him. So he's at 3.5K. Again, he played big minutes, played 32 minutes, and is cheap. And again, went for 24 fantasy points. So there's some guys here I'm looking to for Iran, but the value, because even though there's a significant blowout risk, these guys can still get it done limited minutes. So again, Biak, M Jams, and M Nick are the three guys I'm looking to for Iran for some salary relief. All right, in the United States, not much I like here. Number one, we have the blowout risk. And number two, still the guys are way overpriced. So KD, if you played him last slate, got in foul trouble. Obviously, that was a little bit tilting. Dame Lillard played 28 minutes. Was a little bit disappointing. Bam started, played 25 minutes. Was decent. Drew Holiday was kind of surprised. Played really well off the bench, 28 minutes. Tatum was forgettable in 24 minutes. Again, Booker, Levine played just under 20. Draymond Green played about 21 minutes. It's just, you take a look at the price points here. I don't think it makes a ton of sense. And also, there's a really good chance these guys only play 3 quarters. So I just have a hard time getting the United States guys. Now, could you play for the blowout? Maybe you roll the dice in a Keldon or JaVale McGee? I guess. But I don't think it's necessary. I think there's just other value I prefer in the slate. So Jeremy Grant got a DNP. He's at 7.1K. I'm not going to Middleton. Adebayo at 7.8. If he starts again, you can use him as a contrarian spend up. Again, though, I just prefer other stars. I'm not paying that price for Draymond, not paying that price for Booker. Even though Drew Holiday had a really good game, I'm probably not going to go there. Definitely not going to Levine. Tatum feels a little bit overpriced. KD and Lillard, I guess, are fine contrarian spend ups if you think Iran can somehow keep this game competitive. But the USA is basically full fade for me. There's not much I like here. All right, so let's move on to Australia versus Italy. Australia, Patty Mills played 35 minutes and went absolutely off. 25 points, 4 boards, 6 assists, 4 steals. He's a guy who's very high in last night to spend up. Once again, I really like him. I think he's going to be popular, but it's for a good reason, right? 35 minutes and is their clear go-to scorer. Well, the ball in his hands allowed at 6 assists. I really like Patty Mills there at the top. Let's go over the rest of some of these Australia players. So Joe Ingles played 32 minutes, went for 11, 4-3. His price is 9.2K. Definitely viable, but would rather get to Patty Mills. Same thing I said last slate. Matisse Thybulle, let's take a look at him. So he played 23 minutes, got a little bit bailed out if he played him, had 5 steals. So, yeah, the price is a little bit too much for me for Thybulle, but there are some value guys I'm intrigued by. One being Dante Exum at 5.2K. So he played a lot more in this most recent game. He was averaging 15-ish minutes in the exhibition games. However, he played 24 minutes in that game against Nigeria. So if he's going to play about 25 minutes off the bench, he's certainly someone we can look to in the mid-range. Now, the big rotation was a little bit confusing here for Australia. I was expecting more minutes for Baines, expecting more minutes for Landale. Both guys saw limited minutes, 15 for Baines, 13 for Landale. I mean, maybe Baines saw limited minutes because he was dealing with that injury. The guy that did get a significant amount of minutes was Nicholas K. He played 26 minutes, went for 12 points, 8 boards, 3 steals, and a block. So looking at his price, he's at 4.3, Baines at 3.9, and Landale at 5.1. If I'm going to play one of these Australian bigs, it's probably going to be K. Now, is it guaranteed he's going to play 25 minutes again? No. I think there's a chance if Landale or Baines play well, they could get the minutes. So there is a little bit of risk. But again, if I'm going to roll the dice on one of these cheap centers, I think it would be K. And then Dellavedova also, his minutes went a little bit down. He only played 16 minutes. I think maybe because Exum was playing well. In the exhibition games, he was averaging mid-20s minutes, so that's not great to see his minutes go down. However, he is very cheap, so I think he's still a viable contrarian value play, but there's other guys that do prefer at that price. All right, so let's move on to Italy. So Italy played the core group of guys a lot of minutes. Fontenchio played 30 minutes, Tunit played 32, Gallinari 25, Melli 26, Mannion 24, and Polonara 23 minutes. Let's go ahead and take a look at these pricings for the Italy players. Gallinari's at 8.3K. Again, he did come off the bench to play 25 minutes for 18, 2, and 2. Obviously a great scorer and might play a little bit more in this game. So he is someone you can look to as a spend up. However, probably would rank him behind a couple other guys. Now, Fontenchio, again, it was him and Polonara that really dominated in the exhibition games with Gallinari out. Fontenchio continued to play well. He played 30 minutes, went for 24, 2, 3, and 1. Whereas Polonara really struggled off the bench, only played 23 minutes. However, he did shoot 0 of 6. So, Fontenchio is probably going to pick up a lot of ownership if people are going to go to one of these mid-range forwards. However, Polonara is still viable. Recency bias, He burned a lot of people. Ownership should be pretty low. There's still a chance, like, he most likely is not going to shoot 0 of 6 again. And we know he's a productive player. So I don't hate going to Polonara to get a little bit different here. Again, I think he'll be very, very low owned. Nico Mannion, I think, is a pretty safe play. However, the minutes weren't amazing on him. Go back and look at his minutes. Only 24 minutes. He took for 10 points and 7 boards, though. Tunet did play some solid minutes here for Italy, and he played 32 minutes for 18, 3, 2, and 3. I think he'll be a pretty popular value play. Is shooting guard eligible, which is kind of nice. Shooting guard usually a weaker position. And then Nicolo Melli's at 4.5K. Had a really solid game. 26 minutes, 13, 9, 1, and 2. However, I'm not convinced he's going to be that productive again. I do think he still is a decent value play, though, and should play 20 to 25-ish minutes. All right, guys, so let's finish up with France versus Czech Republic. All right, on the France side, you guys knew I was super high in Evan Fournier. He played phenomenal. 34 minutes, 28, 4, 1, and 1. Again, he is going to be their go-to scorer. And once again, I think he's a little bit underpriced here at 7.5. I really like Evan Fournier. Also, Nato De Colo. I told you guys he's going to be super low owned. He was. He played 32 minutes, went for 30 fancy points. Now, Frank Ntilikina, I will mention, did miss the opening game, and he's questionable. So I think if Ntilikina played, De Colo's minutes could have went down a little bit. But again, De Colo is a do-it-all guy. Went for 13, 5, and 5. So decent insurance, spend up. I'm not spending up for Rudy Gobert. There's just guys I would much rather get to. A couple other guys I want to mention here. Nick Batum at 5.6. I think is a pretty safe value play, or a guy in the mid-range. Played 31 minutes, went for 5, 4, 5, and 1. That's kind of a Nick Batum stat line, right? A guy that can do it all. I think he's a pretty good play. Again, Yabusele did get injured, but he is probable. I retweeted that. Again, make sure to follow me on Twitter, guys. I will retweet starting lineups and stuff like that. Also, information. Again, I saw Yabusele is probable for tomorrow's game. He played 19 minutes for 6, 4, and 1. If he is in and plays again, I think he's someone you could look to as a salary relief play. And then that's probably it for me. TLC only played 15 minutes. Some of these bigs, like Mustafa Fall, played 11. Vincent Poirier played 11. I think I'd rather get to other value plays, though. All right, so let's finish up with Czech Republic. And once again, I am really, really high in Tomas Satoransky. Played 34 minutes, went for 6, 8, 8, and 5. Also shot 2 of 15. So most likely he's not going to shoot that bad again. He should play all the minutes he can handle. I really like Satoransky. I think he is very underpriced. All right, going over the rest of the Czech Republic, they kind of spread out the minutes for the rest of the players. Patrick Auda played 23 minutes. Blake Shibb, 24. Jan Vasily, 25. Balvin only played 19 minutes. That was a little bit disappointing. Boyacek played 21. So let's talk about Balvin again. He played 19 minutes. I expected a little bit more run, but still was good in that time. 9 points, 8 rebounds, 1 block. If he plays 20 to 25 minutes, once again, he is one of my favorite value plays. So I do like Balvin again there. Vesely at 6.9K, I think is a pretty solid play and was in the NBA for a little bit. He went for 11, 7, 3, and 2. Played 25 minutes. I think he's a pretty good play in the mid-range. Shibb had a nice game at 4.7K. I think he's viable for value. Again, he played, what was his minutes? He played 24 minutes for 14, 4, and 5. So there's some value plays that are viable here on Czech Republic. But yeah, Satoransky is definitely the guy I'm looking to at the top. Really, really do like him. All right, guys, so that is going to do it for the video today. If you have been enjoying the content so far, I would really appreciate it if you leave a like button on the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't upload videos, and you know when I'm live. Again, I will be live tomorrow. Make sure to check it out, guys, and let's try to aim for 150 likes on this video. Thanks again. Have a great day, and I'll see you all tomorrow in the live stream.